All right, I had to go and put my suit on and make myself look presentable because I'm going to be talking about Mr. Suitman himself, Mr. Steve Harvey. And if you haven't seen, there's a couple of links. I'll put them in there as far as Steve Harvey talking about atheists, relationships, and then going and crying on TBN or whatever it was, the Christian thing about how he got picked on by some bloggers. The man who has his own nationally syndicated radio show, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So for those of you who watch my videos or aren't in America, you'll find out who Steve Harvey is. He had a #1 book about relationships, #1 New York Times best-selling book, which is ridiculous. Okay, women, stop reading books about relationships. You don't see any relationships to men about relationships because we don't read that stuff. We just know we like somebody and that's how it goes. But take advice, or at least look at who you're taking advice from. Okay, so Steve Harvey's a well-known comedian. Been around forever. I personally don't really think he's very funny, but that's regardless of the point. I mean, I've listened to his show many times. It's something to be on and listen to him. And of course, I mean, he's a comedian. I've heard jokes here and there, but I don't listen really to his show anymore. So he goes on, and his main points is, first of all, what's your moral barometer? He says on 5 different radio shows and or TV shows that I've seen on YouTube. Right? If you don't believe in God, where's your moral barometer? Apparently, he saw that somewhere because he keeps repeating that. First of all, Steve, I would love to ask Steve Harvey, even if he knows the 10 Commandments, like if he can actually repeat the 10 Commandments, which are supposed to be his moral barometer. I bet you he gets 4, but I can get 4, and I don't even know them. Okay, and so the point is that idolatry and all that kind of stuff. That's where I'm supposed to get my moral barometer. I would love to ask Steve Harvey if he would kill his kids if God told him to do so. Okay, so he cries about his kids. If he heard a voice in his head that said, "This is God, take your kid up to the top of a mountain and I want you to stab him." Okay, I would love to see, because that's what Abraham did, right? So, or he got stopped, but I would love to see him take his kid up there and listen to God in the first place. I wonder if all his beautiful suits are made out of micro or mixed fibers. I would love to know that, since that's something that he's supposed to be getting his moral barometer from. You're not supposed to do that. I wonder if Steve Harvey eats shellfish. His moral barometer. Where is his moral barometer? I wonder if he takes his children out if they're unruly and stones them to death at the end of town. I wonder how Steve Harvey goes through finding out the value of his slaves, considering that's in the Bible too. So, etc., etc., etc. Where do I get my moral barometer from? The same place you do. Well, probably not the same place you do. You think it comes from your Bible. It doesn't, because you can look at the Bible and you can say this stuff is wrong and this stuff is right. Well, I don't know if Steve Harvey can, but I can. All right, so maybe my moral barometer is a little bit higher than his God. But my moral barometer, I treat people fair and honest and in a decent way. Okay, and sometimes people take advantage of that, and that's just how it goes. And by the way, sometimes I don't treat people well. It happens. There's times I've cut people off before, and I've had a bad day, and I've hung up the phone on somebody in the past, just like everyone else, just like every other Christian has, and that's how it goes. And most of the time I feel bad if I do that later on when I reflect on it. But I ain't no different. I get my moral barometer the same place as everyone else. God doesn't tell me what to do. I just do it, okay? He's got a book about relationships telling people that if they don't have a God in their life, they have no moral barometer. What the hell does that even mean, by the way? By the way, why do most religious marriages and more religious marriages end up in divorce than non-religious marriages? Okay, well, where's their moral barometer? How come these religious people get divorced? What the hell is that? You're not supposed to get divorced. The Bible doesn't talk about divorce. Use death to his part, swear on the Bible, put your hand on there, make a solemn oath. What is this with 50% of them getting divorced? I mean, where are they getting their moral barometer from? All right, so I just don't get it. So my mom is Jewish. My dad is Christian. They brought me up to believe whatever the hell I wanted to believe. And you know what I did? I went to the temple. I read the Bible. I was a philosophy major in college. And you know what I found out? It's all BS, okay? It's a bunch of people who didn't know the answer stuff, so they created the Sky Daddy, which is what I'm going to get to next. So he goes on the Larry King show when he's talking to I don't even know what her name was. And he goes on to say, atheists are idiots. If somebody tells me an atheist, I just walk away from him. I got nothing else to say. Okay, well, great. Well, oh, no wonder he can't figure out the explanation to his questions, because he ain't got nothing else to say. He don't want to hear the answers to his moronic questions, all right? Well, he says, atheists he goes on to say atheists are idiots, all right? Well, I got an explanation for you. He's like, well, he's like, you got to explain all this stuff, all right? Well, first of all, really? There really has to be an explanation? So let's go through it. Let's say I didn't have an explanation for the earth and trees and humans and evolution and cosmology and Big Bang theory. Let's say I didn't have, like, science, okay? If you came to me today and said, hey, here's some stuff, we don't understand how all this came apart. Well, what's your explanation for that? I don't know. That's my explanation. What's yours? I believe an invisible man in the sky did magic and created everything. That's what I believe. Oh, really? Well, I believe you're full of crap. Okay, so that's your explanation. So that's the explanation I'm supposed to go ahead with. All right? No, I don't believe that. And secondly, we do have explanations. It's called science. It's called pick up a book and read it. Or you don't have to read a book. Go on YouTube and figure it out. Since you're so busy worrying about the bloggers, why don't you actually do some learning, and then you'll understand what the hell it is you're talking about and what the gaseous cloud. You're an idiot. Okay, so. Maybe if you understood evolution, you'd understand why, but you're not, because you're just going to walk away, all right? I'm just walking away, all right? Well, good. You walk away into ignorance. In there he says, well, why, that my favorite argument, if we came from monkeys, why are there still monkeys, okay? Well, if Americans came from Europeans, why are there still Europeans? The same reason. Numbskull. Okay, so, and then he goes on this Christian show on TBN and cries like a little freaking girl about people responding to his insults. I said all atheist people are idiots and all atheist people don't deserve to be in relationships. You should just get away from them. And I don't understand why they so upset at me. Okay? And by the way, he's mad at bloggers. Bloggers. He's on Tyra and Larry King and Oprah spewing this nonsense, and he's mad. He's crying because some bloggers wrote back to him. Are you kidding me? He's got a radio show where he can spout all the nonsense he wants every single day, and he's mad at some bloggers and crying because of bloggers. Well, maybe because the bloggers hit a point that you're an idiot, okay, and you don't know what you're talking about. So, you gotta be kidding me. And then he goes on, if you actually watch that video, holy mackerel. If you watch the video, first of all, he talks like in the beginning of the video, when he's on the TBN video, he talks like he's the biggest celebrity in the world. Cats like, all my cats are regular people, and they don't know what it's like to be me. I'm a celebrity. They don't know what it's like. Everybody's always analyzing everything I do. You're the idiot who went on Tyra and Larry King and Oprah and wrote a book and said you're crap. They didn't analyze you. Ain't no paparazzi walking around trying to find Steve Harvey. Are you kidding me? He acts like he's the biggest celebrity on the planet. Okay, it's Brad Pitt and then Angelina Jolie and Jennifer Aniston and then Steve Harvey, right? Yeah, the life is under such a freaking microscope. Okay, but in 90 seconds later, after he finishes crying about how he can't have anything to himself, then he's got no one to talk to because people don't understand. Then he goes, like 90 seconds later, he's talking about, he's like, I know Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight and Lionel Richie and Frankie Beverly and Whitney Houston. These are some God people, and I've had conversations with them about this. Are you listening to what you said? Back up the freaking tape. 90 seconds ago, you just talking about you had nobody to talk to, and then you start talking about some of the most famous people in the history of Earth and how you're having conversation with them about this same thing. Like, you're just full of crap. You're just full of crap. So, At the end, he wraps up with he wishes the religious community is more together. Let me tell you why your religious community isn't more together. Because your religious community is all about a bunch of people who want to tell other people how they live their lives. You're not living by God. You're not living by God. You're not living by God. Everybody wants to point fingers, and they forget that every time they point a finger, there's 3 fingers pointing at them. All right, and they don't want to look at their own lives and live their own lives in the right ways because they want to have power and they want to tell other people how to live their life. Here's how you should be doing. You should be reading this Bible. You should be at Sunday school. You should be doing this. You should be living a better life. How about this? You live a better life, okay? Go live your own better life, and then if I see that your life is so great, maybe I'll want to be like you and follow your religion. But you know what? You come to me and tell me some BS about why I should be like you or why I should be doing this or that. Why don't you straighten out your own life first, okay? Look at your own habitat and see if I want to be like that. Don't tell me what I should be like. So, Steve Harvey, done.